All right, guys. So today we're going to take you through a look into kind of what our school day looks like. I've had a lot of brand new homeschool mom friends, especially CC mom friends, who have asked kind of what does our day look like? And I've been meaning to do a video to show you guys. The problem was that I video everything with my iPhone, and we also use my iPhone for some of our school stuff that we do. And so I couldn't figure out how I was going to do school and also video. So I think I figured out how I can just do everything with the computer today. We don't usually use the laptop, but we're gonna do it for today so that I can use my phone for the video. So it is so that we have gotten up and had breakfast, and the kids have done their morning chores, and I've done a couple things around the house. We usually start school between 9 and 9:30, and it is almost 9:30, so we're kind of on the later end today because of some of the stuff I needed to get done this morning. And also I put on makeup, which typically I do not do, or brush my hair. And so you guys should feel very, very honored that I did that. No, I'm just kidding, but I know it's gonna be on camera today, and so normally I just, look like I just woke up. But anyway, so it is about 9:30, and we're going to get started with our, some people call it a morning basket. Some people call it group work, together time, but basically it's just all the stuff that we can do together as a family, and we start off with that. All right, let's get started. So we start our morning off on the couch doing what some people call a morning basket and other people call group work, but basically it's just all the things that all the kids can listen to or participate in and don't really require me working one-on-one with them or them needing to sit at the table and write anything down. So that's how we always start off our day. So we begin with Bible, and we start with a Bible devotional book and read from that. Then we do our Bible study, which is from Shaping Hearts, and it gives us Bible passages to read every day. So we read that day's Bible passages and talk about the questions that go along with it, if there are those for that day. And then we move on from that to do our memory work. So we usually work on a memory verse and sometimes maybe a song that memorizes Bible facts. We work on those together. After our Bible time, we move to our classical conversations memory work, and we will sing and practice all of our memory work for the week. Usually I would be doing this with the songs on my phone, but since I was recording with my phone, we're using my laptop. We're just going through this week's, the history sentence and the Latin and the English and all the different things that we work on each week with CC. We will typically sing through the different topics 2 times. We don't spend a ton of time on them because my kids are so little. We're not trying to drill it in. They're going to visit all of this again, but also they pick up a ton just in that little bit of time. Now we use a little CC file that is called Fridge Facts off of CC Connected, and I will link to all of this stuff in the description. But if you've seen my CC Cycle 3 prep video, you saw me show the fridge facts, but also you saw that we have a wall in our dining room that has all of the memory work on the wall. So last year, since we did all of our memory work in the dining room, we used that wall a ton. This year, since we've switched doing on the couch, we're actually using these smaller, the things called fridge facts. We use those to go through our memory work. We do still have the ones in the dining room, and the kids do still reference them, so we do like them, but we're not using them as much as we did last year. All right, so after we have done our memory work, then we usually will read from a book. We kind of rotate through some. Right now we've got like one about presidents, one about the states, and one that's just about America in general. And so we'll pick 1 or 2 of those. It sort of depends, we just pick whichever one suits us and read that passage for the day. And then once we finish that, we go on to history. We use Knotgrass's history that goes along really well with classical conversations and their history memory work for this year, which is about American history. So we read from our history book, and sometimes we will also have a project. We usually do those on Fridays. That like Not Grass has a unit per week, and you read your passages and then you do your project. So on this particular day, it was not a Friday, so we were just reading that day's passage. Once we have finished with history, we will then do some library books. I try to check out some library books each week that go kind of along with our CC history, because that's what my kids are so interested in. But I'll also get books that go along with science or art or whatever. There's a lot of great resources online where other moms have given lists of books, and so I will try to check out some of those from the library. And so we keep those in a basket, and we'll read a couple of those each day. So as a background, because I did not say this at the beginning, my kids are 6, so first grade, 4, which would be preschool, and then almost 2. And so we keep it very light as far as what they're required to do or listen to, and what I expect out of them, that kind of stuff. So what you're seeing here, I'll go back to this. We are still working on our history, and the curriculum that we use has songs and poems that go along with the time period that we're learning about. And so whatever we were learning this day, it had a song that went along with it. So that's why I got my laptop back out and we're listening to that song, which is neat to kind of hear the different songs that were popular or being sung at that time. So anyway, back to what I was saying. Because my kids are young, we only go through the CC memory work a couple of times. We do a lot of reading. They love to be read to, and so we spend a lot of time on the couch reading together during our morning time or our group time. I don't expect that the younger ones will sit the whole time. As you have seen, Everly, who is my toddler, she just kind of runs all over the place, and she's kind of the reason we switched from the table to the couch. We used to do all of our work at the table, but she had a really hard time with that. She would just, she wanted to be included, she wanted to be held. She would sit at my feet and cry, or she would want me to hold her the whole entire time, which just made it hard for me to work with the older kids. Not to mention that the boys also had a hard time sitting for a long period of time. And so this year we switched to the couch, and so we do everything that we can on the couch, and that has helped a lot. That way they are able to sit a little bit easier, and then the younger kids can kind of move around and get up and play, but still feel like they're included, and that has really worked well for us. So we do everything there together on the couch that we can, and then don't move into the table until it's time to do the stuff where Hudson really needs to sit and actually do some writing or some coloring, or I need to work one-on-one with him. But then, since that's a smaller amount of time, the younger kids, they do a little bit better. It's been about 45 minutes, and we just finished our couch time, together time, morning basket, whatever. And so we are now going to move into our schoolroom, which is also our dining room, to do kind of our table stuff and more individual work rather than group work. After we do our group time on the couch, then we move into the dining room, and the boys trace their maps. So they love the geography portion of Classical Conversations, and so they will trace their maps for that week and the previous week to practice learning all the states and how to draw them, where they are, that kind of stuff. Usually during this time, I will stop and do something, take care of Everly, change a diaper. On this particular day, I was putting food in the crock pot for dinner that night, and so they can do this map portion pretty independently, so I'm able to take a couple minutes to, switch laundry or whatever while they finish that, and then we move on to our next thing. So the next thing that we do is our language arts and our math. So we use Logic of English for language arts and Right Start Math for Hudson. And so this is when we, sit down and do those two subjects that take a lot more of me working one-on-one with him and sitting at the table and that kind of stuff. So Parker really wants to participate as well. And so he has some little workbooks, just, basic ABCs, colors, shapes, that kind of stuff. And so I'll, have him work on something there at the table with us and tracing his letters and that kind of stuff. And usually he just works for a while until he gets tired, and then he runs off and plays, and that's totally fine. I don't have any hardcore curriculum for him. It's just something so that he feels like he's participating with us. And then Everly, she just kind of does whatever. I have some little toys for her that I'll set out. This particular day, she just wanted to draw on paper, so she hung out with us and drew on the paper a bunch. But sometimes she will play with like some blocks or some other little toys and run around on the floor. She usually does pretty well because we've spent the earlier part of the day all together on the couch, and so she's got lots of snuggles and holds, and she's usually pretty happy to hang out while we finish up. So anyway, we are currently working on our language arts. Hudson's doing like his handwriting and whatever our reading portion is for the day, and then we will in a minute switch over to math. And that kind of wraps us up for the main portion of our day. So this is kind of like the core of what we do every day for homeschool. This is, our main subjects, the main chunk of time that we spend each day. And then once this part is done, we are for the most part done for the day. We have a couple of other things that we do, and I'll share that in later in the video, but this is kind of like the bulk of our day. So the sitting at the table part, this part is usually, like 30 minutes or so, 30, 45 minutes, not a huge, terribly long amount of time. And so it's really usually pretty doable for the kids to be able to sit for that long.
All right, and that is it for our morning. Like the bulk of our schoolwork is now done. It is a few minutes after 11, so we've been going for about an hour and 45 minutes, including a break in there while I was making lunch and the kids were waiting for me to finish with that, or making dinner, putting the stuff in the crock pot. So anyway, they will play and until lunchtime, and then we'll do a little bit more after lunch. They sometimes will do a couple of worksheets during Everly's nap time and their quiet time, and so I'll show you that when we do that in a little bit. But the main part of our school day is now done. All right. Okay, so it is after lunch and Everly is down for her nap, and so the boys are doing just some worksheets that I print off from CC Connected for them to do that go along with our CC stuff. And that's just something for them to do during their quiet time while she's taking her nap. And that's basically it for our day. We play outside and we might read some more. And in the evening, we will watch some YouTube videos that go along as well with our CC stuff. Usually while we are cooking dinner, we turn that on for them so that they can be calm and let us get dinner made, but also be learning a little bit more about whatever we are learning that week. But that's basically it for our school day. And here we are at the end of the day. We're fixing dinner and they are watching a few educational YouTube videos. All right, guys, that is it. That wraps up our school day. Thank you so much for coming along with us for the day. I hope that was helpful to see, kind of be a fly on the wall for our full school day, a sped up version of it at least. Just to kind of see how we structure things, how we get things done, how we're able to get a lot of school done in not a huge amount of time. So it's perfect for my kids. They learn tons and they get their school in, but they also have lots of time for play. So anyway, hope that was helpful. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for future homeschool videos. And you have a fantastic evening. All right.